What's up, everyone? Got a nice little fun day of processing. After taking the time to do mining and all of the coral gathering, now it's time to see what can we do with all of the coral pieces, all of the ore. We'll start with the coral. For everyone that was going out and coral gathering, they don't know what to do with any of the coral that you've gotten. Normally, the coral pieces they can make some type of money, but we're gonna want to extend the amount of money that we can make with the coral. So we're going to be making the coral pieces into the colored coral. From there, we're going to take more gems. Well, we're going to heat gems with the coral pieces to make into better coral. And then we're going to go ahead and sell the coral. All right, so the gems are pretty self-explanatory. All you pretty much need is 2,000 of the rough gems, and usually you can get around a good 200 mil. Depending on the color coral that you decide to make. So we're going to be making the prairie green, golden sun. Usually they all make some pretty good money, but what these are mainly used for is crafting the Manos belts, the horse gear, just higher end gear like that. The normal ore I will process down into brass ingot, the copper, and the zinc. And then with the tin, I will go ahead, because we get a lot of the copper out there in Pilgrims Haven, I'll take the copper and the tin together and I'll make brass, get it all processed up into the trade crates. I take the iron and the coal that I find out there and I'll turn it into steel. The steel is also made into the trade crates. Steel is 67, bronze is 100k, brass is 113k, but taking it out to Nampo will increase the value of the trade crates. So I can at least get some of the money back. I have some already moving over to show you guys just how much you can make if trading out in a little area like Keplin. Usually takes 4 hours from Keplin all the way out to Nampo if you're choosing to use the trade transport, which I find as the easiest and most convenient way to do it throughout the week. I don't have to go take all of my trade crates from each and every little area into one spot, then put them all onto a boat and slowly take them across and keep doing trips like that. I'll just go ahead, set up a trade transport every 3 hours, and I'll continue going and pumping in materials into the trade empire, which works out great, especially if you're doing the Pilgrims Haven mining. We're going to grind down the rubies into the resplendents. The resplendents won't really make money, but once we turn the resplendents into the actual coral, it should be fine. Heat up the rubies with the coral pieces. Like I said, normally these won't really make any money on their own, like just little chump change, but going ahead and processing them into the better coral will make you some pretty good money. Another good way to get the coral pieces is using your fishermen. Your fishermen have a chance of getting the Some Fisherman sack, which also contain green, blue, red, golden, and white coral. If you guys don't want to go out and do the actual coral gathering or the mining out in Pilgrims Haven. And of course, you can always go onto the central market and just buy all of your coral that you want. Get the coral pieces, you can get the actual colored coral. So on their own, they can make a okay amount of money if you're out there constantly gathering the coral, but I don't want to stop there. I am definitely greedy. But as you can see, we have 329 of the red coral. Then we'll go ahead and take the rest of the 1,000 rubies with the coral pieces and convert them into the actual coral. I suggest only buying coral if you know you're going to be able to cover the cost of the coral that you're buying. And this is only if you're not buying any of your materials, you are not doing anything like that, spending any type of silver. This is mainly a great option if you are going out and manually gathering and you just want to find something to do with your materials instead of just selling it. Like, by all means, if you'd rather go ahead and sell your materials instead of actually crafting it or using it for anything else, by all means, go ahead, sell it. But I personally just enjoy crafting and using up all of my materials and things like that. It's a quick way to get some easy money, especially if you have your workers going out and pumping the materials into your storage constantly. It's actually in my bag this time. All right, grind it down. grind down topaz. So for a few minutes of doing our little processing, we have 187 mil. I will go ahead and start adding this on my calculator so we can get an actual accurate number. This is all going to be before tax. I am not listing anything yet. I'm just showing you guys the amount of money that you can make while processing down all of your materials that you get while out there in Pilgrim's Haven. Obviously, if you have better mastery, you got more mini games, you just had better RNG, you'll be able to do more materials, or you'll not be able to do as many materials as me. Just keep that in mind. It's one of those things that if you have the materials and you can process it, it'll make you a lot of money. That's for our Twilight Red Coral. Next for our normal rubies, which again, rubies are not really making much. Again, it's not going to make a lot of money. It's still nice, but not as much money as we're trying to do. Okay, so far we are at 322 mil. We're still processing though. If you guys are still in the need for gems, we can always open up the miner sack. Miner sack will get us a nice amount of gems, and the fisherman sack, like I said, will have the colored coral. So now we have a little boost of our income, a nice little jackpot, if you will, but we're not done. We have a lot more to do. We're going to take our colored coral, our normal topaz, and we're going to that up together. Should give us our yellow coral. Our yellow coral will go ahead, be turned into the actual, I forgot which one it is. But if you're getting the coral pieces from your underwater gathering, it shouldn't be an issue. You should be able to get a couple thousand and start doing this whole process yourself. But now we can go take our golden coral, our resplendent topaz, and process that together. Now to give you guys a value of our topaz that we threw in, or we made, 6 mil, which is, you know, expected. It's not a lot of topaz. It's the lower topaz. Go ahead, add that in. Now let's do the resplendent. Resplendent should make a little bit more because everyone wants it. Yeah, just a little bit more, nothing too crazy. Add that into there. And then we can finally look at the golden sun. Golden sun is what we'll really make some money on. All right, so that's 131 mil. We are now sitting at 487 mil. And I do want to stress this out. The better your processing is, the better your gathering is, your RNG out there while gathering, your mastery, all of that plays into how many materials you can get, how long you're out there gathering for the materials, if you're willing to buy your materials, or if you're just going out and relying on gathering or your workers. It's all completely situational. Diamonds are pretty good, but we do have workers that can go out and gather them, so they're not really that sought after. Keep that in mind. So far for my 31 minutes of processing, I have made 487.5 million. We are processing more. We are going to try to make more money from that. I want to use up all of the materials that I got while out there gathering, or at least showing you guys just how to get some value back from it. This is obviously if you know you have the better processing and gathering, RNG, all of that is factoring into it. Get a total amount of what we've just made on that. All right, resplendent diamonds, which again, obviously, unless you're turning them into coral, isn't going to make you any type of money because it's not a sought after gem. If you guys were looking to make some money off of your diamonds, that's how much you can make after just a little 632 resplendent diamonds. Add that to value. 33 mil. All right, now we are at a cool 500 million. We're doing emeralds and the sapphire for the sapphire. Ooh, that's pretty bad. We need to do emeralds. 6 mil. Zinc, my tin, my iron, and coal. I am taking them, processing them down into the trade crates. My trade crates will then go ahead and be transported over to Nampo. From Nampo, I will trade them in. All that brass that we went ahead and made, we can go ahead and turn that into how much money? The brass, if you wanted to go ahead and list it, will be 95.2 mil. So let's add that, 95. And we are now at 636 mil. Now, to get on the horsey horse and give you guys an idea of what the steel will make when you go ahead and trade it in. There you guys go. That's why I am taking all of my iron and my coal and turning it into the steel. If you guys were trying to do anything with the coal other than the steel and all that, here's what you can go ahead and do with the coal. I use my coal to be turned into coal bags, and this is just in case you guys don't want to want to use the coal for steel, or make the steel, or use the iron for anything else, or blah blah blah. And there you go, 120 mil on the coal bags. We'll continue processing. We will make this into our bronze and show you how much the bronze will make if you list it up. And before anyone like gets all upset or gets all mad or anything, you could probably make more, you'll probably make less, depending on if you have your value pack, if you have your merchant ring, more materials, less material, it doesn't really matter. It's all situational. This is just to show you what I personally like to do, how I take my materials and turn it into some money, experience, or whatever I want to do to have fun. This is not for some instant money making way. I mean, yeah, it can, but this is not supposed to be like the best and latest and greatest way to make money. It's just what you do after you get your materials, if you're not just listing it and selling it. But this is what I like to do. This is how I enjoy my time in Black Desert. Okay, so for the tin, we can make a kind of bad 36.8 mil. The iron will get a lot of iron, so this is all dependent on how much coal you can go out and gather. And then as for steel, but that's why I am turning it all into the trade crates, so that we don't have to worry about all of that. We can just go ahead and gather it, convert it, and ship it out. You see, I've already shown you guys the rough stone. That's not really a big issue, but if you guys are wanting to convert the rough stone into polished stone, here's what you guys will be able to get for that. Yeah, I can so totally do it. I just need the resplendence. Once I can get the resplendence, I can convert all of that. Okay, we got our resplendence. We got a good amount of resplendent gems, which is great. I think we can go ahead and start making that up. Yeah, we can. You guys are trying to make up the green coral. Here's what the green coral will make you. Okay, so with the total of everything added, after melting down all of our coral into our gems and making the actual named coral pieces, we have made a nice 775 million on just coral and the ingots. Okay, silver and gold. We'll go ahead and list that up real fast and show you guys what you guys can make if you were to just go ahead and melt down all of that. 33.6 mil. We're at 808 mil now for our gold, which again is not going to be a lot. 30. And our bottles, if you were going to go ahead and change the silver into bottles, you can go ahead and make a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on how many bottles you make. But there you go. It was a great little fun experience we had. It was fun doing something different than the usual gathering. Hope you guys have a great weekend in Black Desert. Try to get some pen taps. Try to do some good mob grinding. Cassie, John, I think you're going for yours. I don't know if you're going for yours, lovely. And Zig, I hope you can get your Garmy heart. Enjoy your night, everyone.